thanks. It's bitter cold, and I'm sick and clerked.
Have you had a quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, if you do meet Marcellus and Horatio, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them now. Stanco, who is there?
Friends to this ground.
And liegemen to the Dane.
Say, was Horatio there?
Piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, meet Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fancy, and will not let belief take hold of him touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore, I have entreated him along.
Tush, 'twill not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story, what we have 2 nights seen.
Well, sit we down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star.
Peace! Bring me on! Look! Bird cuts again!
The same finger like a wing that's dead!
That were the scholar. Speak to it, Horatio!
What art thou that usurps this time of night? Together with the fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march. By heaven I charge thee, speak!
He is offended.
Stay! Speak! I charge thee, speak!
'Tis gone and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is this not something more than fantasy? What think you on't?
Before my God, I might not disbelieve without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art with thyself.
Thus twice before and jump at this dead hour with martial stock hath he gone by our watch.
In what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Good now. Sit down and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon and foreign mark for implements of war. What might be toward that this sweaty haste doth make the night joint labor with the day? Who is it that can inform me?
That can I, at least the whisper goes so. Our last king, who as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, thereunto pricked on by most emulate pride was dared to combat, in which our valiant Hamlet did slay this Fortinbras, who, by sealed compact, did forfeit with his life all those his lands which he stood seized of. But now, sir, young Fortinbras, of unimproved metal, hot and full, half in the skirts of Norway here and there, sharked up a list of lawless resolutes for food and diet, to some enterprise to recover us, by firm hand and terms compulsory, these foresaid lands so by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparation.
I think it be no other but e'en so. Well, it may sort that this portentous figure comes armored to our watch, so like the king that was and is the question of these wars.
A mote it is to trouble the mind's eye. In the most high and palmy state of Rome, a little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the graves stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets. As stars of trains of fire, and dews of blood, disasters in the sun, and the moist star upon whose influence Neptune's watery empire stands, was sickened almost to doomsday's eclipse. And even the light precursors of fierce events, as harbingers proceeding still of fates, and prologue that omens coming on, have heaven and earth together demonstrated upon our climature and countrymen. Soft, hold, lower, again. I will cross it, who will blaspheme. Stay, illusion. If that was any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done, which may be do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily for knowing may avoid, oh, speak of it! Or if thou hast afforded in thy life, extorted treasure in the womb of the earth, speak of it, stay and speak!
'Tis here!
Is there?
Tis gone.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard that the cock, that is, the trumpet of the morn, doth, with his shrill and lofty sounding voice, awake the god of day, and act as warning, in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to its confine, and of the truth herein, this present object made probation.
It faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that ever against that season comes wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated, the bird of dawning singeth all night long. And then they say no spirit dare stir abroad. The nights are wholesome then, no planet strikes, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm, so hallowed and so gracious is that time.
This I have heard, and do in part believe. But look, the morn, and russet mantle clad, walk us o'er the dews of yon high eastern hill. Break we our watch up, and upon my advice, let us impart unto young Hamlet what we have seen tonight, for by my life, the spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him.
Let's do it, I pray, and this morning I know where we shall find him most conveniently.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it has us befitted to bear our hearts in woe, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of grief. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along. For all our thanks. Now follows that you know young Fortinbras, holding a weak appraisal of our worth, hath not failed to pester us with message importuning the surrender of these lands, lost by this father, to our most valiant brother. So much for him. Now for ourselves, and for our time in meeting thus much the business is. We have here, writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedridden, scarcely hears his nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gait therein. And we hereby dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Voltanet, for bearers of this message to old Norway. Farewell, and let your haste command your duty.
In that and all things, we will show our duty.
We doubt nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, you told us of some suit. What is it? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and lose your voice. The head is not more native to the body, the hand more instrumental to the mouth than is the throne of Denmark to thy dear father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favour to return to France, from whence I willingly came to Denmark, to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France, and bow them to your grace's leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laboursome petition, and at last, upon his will, I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes, and time be thine, and thy best graces spended at thy will. But now, cousin Hamlet, and my son,
Little more than kin, and less than kind.
how is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. Not too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy night colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veil of lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou know'st 'tis common, all that lives must die. passing through nature to eternity.
I, madam, it is common.
Why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam. Yea, it is. I know not seems. It is not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, no. Nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected havior in visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, but they are actions that a man might play. But I have that within which passes show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in thy nature, dear Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father. That father lost his, and the survivor bound for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled for what we know must be and is common. Fie! 'Tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is the death of fathers, and who still hath cried from the first course till he that died today, this must be so. We pray, think of us as a father, for let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart towards you. As for your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you, to remain here, in the cheer and comfort of our good eye, our chiefest courtier, and my son.
Dear Hamlet, let not thy mother lose her prayers. I pray thee, stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourselves in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling on my heart. Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. For that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. God! How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie upon it, fie. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent the king that was to this, Hyperion to a saddle. So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly, heaven and earth. Must I remember? Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month. Let me not think of it. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears, why she, even she, oh God, a beast that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother. Yet no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. It break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see thee well, Horatio, for I can forgive myself.
The same, my lord, your poor servant ever.
No, my good friend, I'll change that name of you. What make you from Vandiver? Marcellus.
My good lord.
I'm glad to see thee well. Good evening, sir. But what in faith make thee from Vandiver?
In truth, my lord, a truant disposition.
I would not hear your enemy say so. You are no truant. But what makes you to Elsinore?
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray do not mock me, fellow student. You came to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. That I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
My mind's eye, Horatio.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord, the king, your father.
King, my father.
Cease in your admiration for a while, if an attend here till I may relay this marvel to you.
For God's love, man, let me hear.
2 nights together have these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead fast in the middle of the night been thus encountered. A figure like your father appears to them, and speaks to them not. This to me in dreadful secrecy they did impart, and I with them the 3rd night stood watch. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more alike.
Where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
I did, my lord, but answer made it none. Yet once, methought, it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion, like it would speak. But then the morning cock crew loud, and it shrunk in haste away and vanished from our sight.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true.
Indeed. Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Saw you not his face? What looked he frowning?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
And fixed his eyes upon you.
Most consistently.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still. And whatsoever else may happen, I give it in understanding, but no tongue. So fare you well. On the platform, twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty to your honor.
Your loves, as mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come, till then sit still my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet, and the trifling of his fable, hold it as fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primary nature, forward, not permanent, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more, but sir.
Think of it no more. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor kirtle doth besmirch the virtue of his will, but you must feel it. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself. For on his choice depends the safety and health of the whole state. Then, if he says he loves you, it is your wisdom so far to believe it as he in his particular act and place may give his same deed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark goes law. Then, weigh what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister. And keep within the rear of your affections out of the shot and danger of desire. Chariots maids, prodigal enough, if she had lost her beauty to the moon. Virtue itself escapes not caliber strokes. Be wary. Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else in
I shall the good effect of this lesson keep as a watchman to my heart. But good my mother, do not as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst, like the puffed and reckless libertine himself, the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Fear me not, I stay too long. But here my father comes. Double blessing is a double grace, occasion smiles and a second leave.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There. My blessing with you, and these few precepts in thy memory. Look thou thy character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, by no means vulgar. The friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it, that the opposer may beware of thee. Costly thy habit, as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dull yet husbandry. Give every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. This above all, to thine own self be true. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you, go, your service attend.
Farewell, Athena. And remember well what I said to you.
It is in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key.
Farewell.
What is Ophelia hath said to you?
So please you something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Mary, well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. If it be so as so 'tis put to me, and that's in a way of caution, I must tell you. You do not understand yourself so clearly as behooves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Pooh! You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe in his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should.
Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby, that you have taken these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or, not to crack the wind of a poor phrase, running it thus, you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in an honorable
Not fashion, you may call it. Go to, go to.
and hath given credence to his vows with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Spinges to catch woodcocks. I do know, when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, you must not take for fire. From this time, be something scanter in your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate than to command a parley. For the Lord Hamlet believed so much in him. He is young. Ophelia, do not believe his vows, for they are brokers not of that dye which their investments show. And this is for all. I would not, from this time forth, have you so slender any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It's very cold. What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. It then draws near the season wherein the spirit held is wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight, and takes his rouse, keeps wassail, the swaggering upspring reels, and as he drains his draughts with Rhenish vows, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his play.
Is it a custom?
I marry isn't. Though I am native here to the man born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance. This heavy-handed revel, east and west, makes us traduced and taxed of other nations. They leave us drunkards, and with swinish phrase soil our edition. And indeed it takes from our achievements the pith and marrow.
Look, my lord, where it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace, defendants, be thou a spirit of health, or goblin damned, be thy intents wicked, or charitable, thou comest in such a questionable shape, that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal dame. Oh, answer me! Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell me why the sepulchre, wherein we saw thee quietly interred, hath oped his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean, that thou, dead corse, revisits thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we fools of nature so horridly to shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls? Say, what may this mean? Therefore, what should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if some impartment desire for you alone.
Look with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground. But do not go with it.
By no means.
It will not speak. Then I will follow you.
Nay, my lord.
Nay, what should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee, and as for my soul, what can I do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again. I'll follow it.
What if it tempts you to the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles o'er its base into the sea, and there assumes some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it.
Waves me forth again. Go on! I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
Hold up thy hands!
You ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out, unhand me, gentlemen. I say away. By heaven, I'll make a ghost of you that lets me. Go on. I'll follow thee.
Your wax is desperate with imagination.
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow him.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will. My and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but render thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak. I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could a tale unfold, whose lightest word harrow thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, lie knotted and combined lot to part, and each particular hair stand on end like quills upon the fretful porcupine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood, lest, oh, lest if thou didst ever thy dear father love.
Oh, God!
Tis given out, sleeping within my orchard. Serpent stung me, so the whole year of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. Oh no, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
My prophetic soul, my uncle.
I, that incestuous, that adulterous beast, with witchcraft of his wits, betrayed his gift. Oh, wicked wit and gift that have the power so to seduce one to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of a dignity that it went hand in hand even with the vows I made to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But virtue, as it never will be moved, though lewdness caught it in the shape of heaven, and lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. Oh, but soft, methinks I sent the morning air, brief let me be, sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, in my secure hour, thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebron in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distillment whose effect holds such enmity with blood of man. Swift as quicksilver, it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with its vigor doth possess and curd like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood, so did it mine. An instant that I barked about, alas, alike with violent, loathsome crust of my smooth body. Thus was I of a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off, even in the blossoms of my sin, unhoused, disappointed, unannealed, nor reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible! Oh, horrible! Oh, horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursues this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven and to those thorns that within her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and begins to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.
That was right. Bring up the lights again. Thank you.
Oh, you ghost of heaven. Oh, what else? Shall I couple hell? Fine. You, my sinews, grow not instant bold, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee, I, thou poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all stalls of books, all forms, all treasures past, that youth and observation copied there. And thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven. O most pernicious woman. O villain! Villain! Smile! Damned villain! That one may smile and still be a villain. At least, I am sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, There you are.
Lord Hamlet!
Hear him. What news, my noble lord?
Oh, wonderful. Would heart of man once think it, but you will be secret.
I haven't.
There is never a villain dwelling in all of Denmark, but he's an Arab name.
There needs no ghost come from the grave, my lord, to tell us this.
Right. Quite right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your circumstance and business may point you, as every man has business and desire such as it is, and for my own poor part, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you. Pardon me. Yes, faith. Pardon me.
There is no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is. Ratio. This was an honest ghost, that let me tell you. As for your desire to know what is between us, or master, as you may. And so, friends, as you are friends, scholars, soldiers, all, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never to speak of this that you have seen.
Nay, my lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my blade.
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Solstice Q. Thank you. Do you go from your line? We have sworn my lord already.
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Swear.
Sayest thou so, boy? Art thou there, true penny? Come on. You hear this fellow in the cellar. Consent to swear.
Post the oath, my lord.
Never to make known what you have seen tonight. Consent to swear.
Okay, knight. Okay, knight. This is wondrous strange.
Therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. And so, as I perchance hereafter shall think it meet to put an antic disposition on you, at such time, seeing me never shall with arms encumbered thus, or by this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrases. Well, we know, or if we list to speak, or such ambiguous giving out to know that you know aught of me. This do swear, so grace and mercy your most need help you.
Swear.
Olive, hail, coming around.
Rest. Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love, I do commend me to you. And what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do to express his love and friendship to you, God willing, shall not lack. Let us go in together. And still, your fingers on your lips, I pray. Time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Hey, let's in together.
Give him this money and these notes, Ronaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelous wisely, good Ronaldo, before you visit him to inquire of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
Mary, well said, well said. Inquire me first what danskers are in Paris, and now, and who, what means, and where they keep, what company, at what expense, and finding by this encompassment and drift of question that they do know my son, come you more nearer than your particular demands will touch it. Take you as twere some distant knowledge of my son, and thus I know his father and friends, and in part him. Do you mark this, Ronaldo?
Aye, very well, my lord.
And in part him, but you may say not well, but if be he, I mean, he's very wild, addicted to so and so, and there, put on him what forgeries you please. Marry none so rank as may dishonor him. Take heed of that, but sir, such wanton, wild, and usual slips that our companions noted and most known to youth and liberty.
As gaming, my lord.
Aye, drinking, fencing, swearing, quarreling, drabbing, you may go so far.
My lord, that would dishonor him.
Faith? No, as you may season it in the charge. You must not put another scandal on him that he is open to incontinency. That's not my meaning, but, sir, breathe his faults so quaintly that they may seem the taints of liberty.
But my good lord.
Wherefore should you do this?
I, my lord, I would know that.
Marry, sir, here's my drift, and I do believe it is affection for it. You laying these slight sullies on my son as twere a thing a little soil to the working. Mark you, your party in converse, him you would sound, having ever seen in the predominant crimes the youth you breathe guilty, be assured he closes with you in this consequence. Good sir, or so, or friend, or gentleman, according to the phrase or the addition of man and country.
Aye, very well, my lord.
And then, sir, does he this? He does. Oh, by the mass, I was about to say something. Where did I leave?
At the closes and the consequence.
Closes in the consequence. It closes in the consequence. Aye, Mary, closes with you thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday or the other day with such or that or that. And as you said, there he was at gaming. There, O'Tuckins roused there, falling out at tennis, or perchance. I saw him enter such a house of sale. Vide licet, a brothel, or so forth, see you now. Your bait of falsehood takes the carp of truth, and thus do we of wisdom and of reach, with windlasses and with essays of bias by indirections, find directions out. So, by my former lecture and advice, shall you, my son. You have me, have you not?
Aye, my lord, I have.
God be with you, very well.
Good, my
Oh. Observe his inclination in yourself.
I shall, my lord.
And let him ply his music.
Well, my lord.
Very well. Oh, now, Ophelia. What's the matter?
Oh, my lord, I have been so frightened.
With what, in the name of God?
As I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, his doublet all unbraced, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking together, and with a look so piteous and purport as if he had been loosed out of hell, to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He grabbed me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such a perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stood he so. At last, a little shaking of my arm, and thrice his head waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he let me go. And with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their helps, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself, and leads the will to desperate undertakings, as oft as any passion under heaven that doth afflict our natures. I'm sorry. What? Have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and deny his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle, and meant to wreck thee. Beshrew my jealousy. Come, go we to the king.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Something you have heard of Hamlet's transformation. So call it, since nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles what it was. What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time. So by your companies to draw him on in pleasures, and to gather as much for occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus. The hope in it lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath talked much of you, and sure I am 2 men there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to extend your time with us a while for the supply and profit of your home, your visitation shall receive such thanks as befits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more to command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my much too changed son.
Heaven make
Make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
I amen.
The ambassadors from Norway, my lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou still hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? I assure, my lord, my liege, that I hold my duty both as I do my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it hath used to, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Ooh, speak of that. That do I long to hear.
Your first admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be the fruit to that great feast.
Thyself to grace them, and bring them in. He tells me, Gertrude, ye have found the head and source of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our o'er hasty marriage.
Well, we shall sift him. How now, Boltman? What from brother Norway?
Most fair return. Of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent out to suppress us against his nephew's levies, which appeared to him to be preparation against the Polacks. But better looked into, he truly found.
It was against your highness. Where it grieved that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrests.
On foreign wrath, which he in grief obeys, receives rebukes from all Norway, and finally makes vows before his uncle, never more to give him a stay of arms against your majesty.
Whereon all Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee, and his commission to employ these soldiers so levied as before against the Polak, with an entreaty herein further shown.
Then I please you to give quiet pass. through the Dominia for this enterprise, on such regards of security and allowance as therein are set down.
It likes us well. Go to your rest. Most welcome home. At night, we will feast together.
This business is well ended, my liege, and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, and time is time. We're nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes. I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is to be nothing else but mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art?
Madam, I swear I use no art, that he's mad. 'Tis true, 'tis pity, and pity, 'tis true, a foolish figure, but farewell it, I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then. Now it remains that we find out the cause of this effect. Or rather say the cause of this defect, or this effect. Defective comes by cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus perpend. I have a daughter, well she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this. Now, gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear. Thus, in her excellent white bosom, these, etc.
Take this from Hamlet to her.
Good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move.
Doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I will. Oh dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not heart to reckon up my groans. That I love thee best, most best. Believe, adieu. Thine evermore, most dear lady. Whilst this machine is too. Hamlet.
This in obedience hath she given me, and more about hath his solicitings, by time, means, and place, as they fell out, all given to mine ears.
But how hath she received his love?
I had seen this hot love on the wing as I perceived it. I must tell you that before my daughter told me. What might you, or my good majesty, your queen here, think if I had played the desk or table book, or given my heart a working mute and dumb, or looking upon this love with idle sight? What might you think? No! I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak. The Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. And then my precepts gave her that she should lock herself from her resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which obeyed. She took the fruits of my advice, and he, repelled, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a watch, thence to a fast, thence to a weakness, then to lightness, and by this declension now into this madness, wherein now he raves, and all we mourn. Do you think this?
It may be very like.
Hath there been such a time? Fain know that I have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this. If this be otherwise, arise. If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center. You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby. At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind an arras, then mark the encounter. If you love her not, and be not from his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant for a state, but keep a farm and carters.
We'll try it.
But look where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
I do beseech you both away, or board him presently. Oh, give me leave, give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God of mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Oh, excellent. Well, you are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, son. For to be honest as this world goes is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
What if the sun breathe maggots in a dead dog being a good kissing carrion? Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but as your daughter may conceive, friend, look to it.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter. Yet he knew me not at first. I said I was a fishmonger. He's far gone. And truly, in my youth, I suffered much extremity for love, very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words. Words. Words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between you!
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir. The satirical rogue says here that old men's faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit together with most weak hands. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and totally believe, yet I would it not honestly to have it thus set down. For yourself, sir, shall grow old as I am, if like a crab, you could go backward.
But if we fantasy, there's nothing in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that's out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. A happiness that often madness hits on, which reason and sanctity could not so be prosperously delivered up. I will leave him and my daughter. My lord, I will take my leave of you.
You cannot take from me, sir, anything that I would more willingly part with all. Except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
You go to seek the Lord Hamlet. There he is. God save you, sir.
My honored lord! My most dear lord!
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? On a Rosencrantz, how do you lads both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not ever happy. In fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soul's first shoe.
Neither, my lord.
And you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favors.
Faith her private swing.
In the secret parts of fortune. Most true, she is a strumpet. But what news, friends?
None, my lord, but the world's grown honest.
That is doomsday here. But your news is not true. Let me question one particular. What have you deserved at the hands of fortune's friends that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord?
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
Aye, a goodly one with many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We do not think so, my lord.
Why then, 'tis none to you. There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
your ambition makes it one. It's too narrow for your mind.
God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Beggar that I am, I am even poor in thanks. And sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear, a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come. Nay, speak, come, deal justly with me.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose you were sent for. There's a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen mote no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercise, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This excellent canopy, the air, look you. This brave, o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with gold and fire, why? It appeareth no other thing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What piece of work is a man? How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delight's not me, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why'd you laugh then when I said, man delight's not me?
To think, my lord, if man delights not you, then what lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coated them on the way, and hither they are coming to offer you service.
He that plays the king shall be welcome. His Majesty shall have tribute on me. But, friends, give me your hands. You are welcome in Elsinore. But my aunt, mother, and uncle, father are deceived.
In what, my lord?
I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Well be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you two, and each ear a hearer. That great baby you see before you is not yet out of his swaddling clouds.
And happily is the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
The actors are come hither, my lord. The best actors in the world, whether for tragedy, comedy, historical, pastrical, comical, pastrical, scene indivisible, poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautus too light. For the law of writ and the liberty, these are the only men.
Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hast thou!
What a treasure had he, my lord.
Why? One fair daughter, and no more, the which he loved passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Am I not in the right? Old Jephthah. Welcome, masters, welcome. I am glad to see thee well, old friend. Glad to see thee well. Come, give us a taste of your quality. We'll have a passionate speech. Come.
What speech, my lord?
You speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not but once. For the play, as I remember, it pleased not the million, 'twas caviar to the general. But it was, as I received it, and others whose judgment in such matters cried on the top of mine, an excellent play, well digested in the scene, set down with as much modesty and as cunning. One scene of it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas' talk to Dido, and thereabout of it, especially when he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see here. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast. 'Tis not so. It begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the night resemble, when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now this black and dread complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal, head to foot. Now is he total ghouls, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons. So proceed.
For God, my lord. Well spoken, well said, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds, striking too short at Greeks, his antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, enraged strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then, senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top, stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus here. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of reverend Pyrrhus, seemed in the air to stick. So as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But as we often see against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the cold wind speechless, and the orb below is hushed as death. Anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region, so after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him to a work. And never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor forged for proof eternal, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out! Out, thou strumpet fortune! All you gods in general synod, take away her power, break all the spokes and bellies from her wheel, and bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven, as low as to the fiends.
This is too long.
And shut the barbers with your tooth. Prithee, say on. He's for a jig or a tale of bawdry, or he sleeps. Say on, to heck.
But who, ah woe, had seen the moblet queen?
Moblet queen.
That's good. Moblet queen is good.
Running barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bison rheum. A clout upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all o'er teemed loins, a blanket when the alarm of fear caught up. Who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped, 'gainst fortune's state would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
See, look, for he has not turned his color, and it has tears in his eyes, prithee no more.
As well. Have me speak the rest of this suit. Good my lord, do you see these players well bestowed? You hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you are better have a mad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's body, man! Much better! Use every man after his desert, and we shall escape whipping! Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your mouth. Take them in.
for a neat study a speech of some dozen lines or 16 lines that I would set down and insert.
Aye, my lord.
Follow my lord. Look, my good friends, you are welcome in Elsinore. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Goodbye, my lord.
So goodbye to you.
Now, I am alone. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit? And all for nothing. For Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? Why, he would drown the stage of tears, cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dumb, muddy-meddled rascal, peak like geometry, unpregnant of my cause. Can't say nothing. No. Not for a kid, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my feet across, plucks off my beard, and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lion throat as deep as to the lungs? Who does me this? I should take it. For it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered. For ere this, I should have fattened all the region kites with the slay's awful. Bloody, bawdy villain. Remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! Oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I? This is most great. That I, the son of the dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven, and hell must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words, and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a stallion, vipont. About my brain, I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. The murder, though it hath no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players here play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick, if he but blench. I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, for the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, yea. And perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, uses me to dare me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. Can you by no drift of conference get from him why he puts on this confusion?
He does confess he feels himself distracted.
laws will by no means speak. Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps himself aloof, when we would bring him on to some confession of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman, but with much forcing of his disposition.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are here about the court, and as I think have already ordered this night to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose into these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, you must leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as toward by accident, may here affront Ophelia. Our father and myself will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge, and gather by as he is behaved, if it be the affliction of his love or not, that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honors. Madam, I hope it may.
Ophelia, walk you here, gracious so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book. That show of such an exercise may color her loneliness. We are oft to blame in this. 'Tis too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action, we do sugar o'er the devil himself.
Oh, 'tis too true. How smart a lash that speech doth give my conscience. The harlot's cheek, viewed, plastering art, is not more ugly to the thing it helps, than is my deed to my most painted word. Oh, heavy burden.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, that by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. By sleep, to say, we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished. To die. To sleep. To sleep, perchance, to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love, the insolence of office, the law's delay, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes. When he might himself his quietus make with a bare thought giver. Who would far most bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life? But that dread of something after death. The undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will. It makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. As conscience of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Softly now, fair Phoebe. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day? My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now, receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you one.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord.
Fair?
What means your lordship?
If you are honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our own stock that we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I'm very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I go crawling between earth and heaven? Your errant names all, leave none. Go thy ways to another, farewell. Where is thy father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell. If thou wilt marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dower. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Go thy ways to another. And if thou wilt needs marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To another go, and quickly too.
Heavenly powers, restore him.
I have heard of your paintings well enough. God has given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp. You nickname God's creatures, and you make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to! I'll no more in it. That's making mad. I say, we shall have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To another, go.
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The expectation and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite them. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason like sweet bells jangled out of tune and heart. Woe is me, to have seen what I have seen, see what I see.
Love! His affections do not that way tend, nor would he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, over which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and disclose of it will be some danger, which for to prevent, I have a quick determination thus set it down. He shall speed to England, for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply the seas and countries different, with variable objects, may expel this something settled matter in his heart. What think you on it?
It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. Now, Ophelia, you need not tell us what the Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and if you find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall him.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Nice. All right, we're gonna break for dinner.